Okay, so let's unpack this. We've got your stack of sources here, quite a mix, papers, articles, notes, but all circling around this really big topic right now. Stress, burnout, recovery, how to build a life that, well, doesn't break you.
Yeah, it feels incredibly relevant, doesn't it, that feeling?
Yeah.
Just being constantly on the edge, waking up, already tired.
Exactly. Or, maybe even dreading the day a little, that sense of just fading, even while you're showing up.
Mm-hmm. And what really jumped out from the material was this crucial difference they kept highlighting between just being stressed and actual burnout. It's not just more stress.
Right. It's described as something deeper, like a disconnection. And the sources point out how our world almost encourages it, praising productivity, not pausing.
Precisely. So this deep dive using your material here is really for anyone listening who feels that way, who's maybe thinking, I just can't keep this up.
Yeah, if you're just tired of being tired, physically, mentally, emotionally,
Uh-huh.
all of it.
So our mission today, pulling strictly from these sources you've provided, is to get into those differences, explore the hidden causes the material talks about, spot the warning signs.
And importantly, map out some kind of path forward towards recovery, towards building a life that actually feels sustainable, using only what's in this stack.
Think of it as a guide, yeah. Curated from your stuff, moving from just getting by to hopefully something more like thriving, not a quick fix, obviously.
No, definitely not. But a roadmap based on these insights.
Okay, so where do we start? Understanding that core difference seems key. Stress versus burnout.
Yeah, because they can feel similar on the surface, can't they? Overwhelmed, tired. But your sources really draw a line. Stress, they say, is basically that old alarm system.
That's right, the fight or flight. Primal stuff. Designed for, tigers, immediate threats. Adrenaline, tense muscles, heart pumping.
A quick burst for survival.
Mm-hmm.
But now, that same alarm is going off for deadlines, emails, traffic.
Exactly. The alarm's the same. The triggers are just constant modern pressures. Several pieces called stress being too full. Overengaged, chaotic, urgent, just too much everything.
And it's not all bad, right? The sources mention acute stress.
Right. Short bursts can be good. Focus for a presentation, energy for a deadline. It's time limited usually. You recover afterwards.
Okay, useful stress. But then there's the chronic kind. That's where the problem starts.
That's the one.
Yeah.
When it's relentless, no recovery time, that's when the material says it really starts to wear you down. Body, mind. It messes with sleep, digestion, mood.
And it paves the way for anxiety, depression, and crucially, this thing called burnout. Just always being on alert.
Mm-hmm. Even small things feel huge then.
So stress is too full, overengaged, chaotic. How did the sources define burnout then, in contrast?
Burnout was described more as profound exhaustion, emotional, mental, physical, from that prolonged, unmanaged stress. And the key thing, a weekend off doesn't fix it.
Deeper depletion. And the metaphor they used. Too empty.
Too empty. Yeah, I thought that was powerful too. Stress feels frantic, burnout feels dull, disengaged, maybe even hopeless.
And the WHO recognizes it, right? Not just a work thing.
Right, sources mention that. Caregiving, parenting, community work, anywhere you're giving out constantly without getting refueled.
So the big switch is from overengagement in stress to disengagement in burnout. With stress, you're swamped, but you still kind of care. You want things to work out.
Correct. Your purpose, even if buried under pressure, is usually still there. But with burnout, that sense of purpose often just vanishes. Nothing feels meaningful.
You feel lost, disconnected, numb, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And recovery reflects that difference too. Stress needs managing, breaks, coping skills. It's often doable.
But burnout recovery, the material suggested that's a whole different ballgame.
Much more fundamental. Deep recovery, real lifestyle changes. One source called it needing a healing season, not just a holiday.
Wow. So side by side, stress is wired, burnout is depleted.
Yeah. Stress might be anxiety, tension, burnout. More like apathy, cynicism, detachment, mentally racing thoughts versus just fog, brain fog.
And emotionally.
Yeah.
Stress is activated, maybe reactive. Burnout is flat, hollow.
Like watching yourself from outside. Or irritable, but with no energy behind it. Or just feeling nothing much. The emotional tank is empty, as one author put it.
And that spills everywhere, doesn't it? Relationships, health.
Creativity, everything. And the causes, while linked, are distinct too. Stress from immediate demands, deadlines, conflicts.
But burnout comes from that prolonged stress, especially if you lack control or feel your work doesn't align with your values. Or you're not recognized.
Lack of autonomy, misalignment, not enough recognition, that emotional labor piece. especially when it goes unseen. Often it's the result of ignoring chronic stress when you feel trapped or unfulfilled for too long.
So if you're listening and wondering, which is it for me, the sources had some questions, right? Like, am I overwhelmed or disconnected?
Yeah. Do I still care deep down, even if I'm struggling? Or have I just stopped caring? Does rest actually help, even a little? Or does nothing seem to touch the exhaustion?
Knowing the difference is powerful because, and this is a hard truth in the material, society kind of normalizes stress, right? Busy is good.
Glorifies it, even. But burnout often gets ignored until someone completely collapses.
And the takeaway here is you don't have to wait for collapse. Understanding this difference, too full versus too empty, is the first step. You're not broken, the sources say, just profoundly tired in a very specific way.
Exactly. And knowing how you're tired tells you what kind of rest or change you actually need.
And that burnout state, it creeps up, doesn't it? The sources were clear. It's not an overnight thing.
No, like a fog rolling in, one missed break, one bad night's sleep, ignoring that feeling. It just accumulates.
It's progressive. Like, there's a path. Honeymoon phase, stress onset.
Chronic stress, then burnout. That's hitting the wall. And some mentioned the danger of habitual burnout if you don't fix the root causes.
And the core of burnout itself. The material broke it down into 3 pillars.
First, emotional exhaustion. Just drained. Nothing left to give emotionally.
That deep, empty feeling.
Yeah. Second, depersonalization or detachment. That's the cynicism, checking out, going on autopilot, emotionally disconnecting as a defense.
Watching life from the outside, like you said.
Precisely. Pulling back emotionally. And third, a reduced sense of accomplishment. Feeling ineffective, like nothing you do matters, even if you're still working hard. Self-doubt creeps in.
So it's way more than just being tired.
Oh, much more. The sources frame it as almost existential. A cry from your soul, really, that the way you're living is costing you too much. Joy, purpose, health.
It hits everything. Body fatigue, pain, getting sick, mind, brain fog, negativity, heart numbness, disconnection, spirit loss of meaning, emptiness.
One piece put it perfectly, a natural response to unnatural pressure.
That phrase really sticks. It reframes it, doesn't it? Not failure, but a message.
A powerful message. An invitation to pause, reflect, reclaim what's been lost. Are you running on empty? What have you ignored? What needs healing, not more hustle?
Important questions. And our bodies and minds send signals before the crash, right? The subtle whispers, the sources call them.
Yeah, trying to get your attention. Your body often speaks first. Things like fatigue sleep doesn't fix, chronic headaches, digestive issues, getting sick more often, insomnia, weird aches, chest tightness.
These aren't random, they're messages.
Exactly. Then the mental signs, that fog, trouble concentrating, memory lapses, racing thoughts you can't turn off, feeling overwhelmed by small decisions, mental fatigue. Not a flaw, the source is stress, but overload.
And emotionally. You're just not feeling like yourself.
Irritable, anxious, cynical, numb, losing joy in things you used to love, mood swings, that detachment again, autopilot mode. If you don't recognize yourself emotionally, that's a big red flag.
Behaviorally, things change too.
Yeah.
Pulling back from people.
Yeah, withdrawing socially, avoiding things, sometimes weirdly overworking even more, neglecting self-care meals, exercise, maybe relying more on coping mechanisms, alcohol, screens, food, losing motivation.
And the deeper signals. Spiritual or existential.
That loss of meaning or purpose, feeling disconnected from yourself, questioning everything, just emptiness, that inner voice saying, this can't go on, your soul asking for alignment, not more effort.
The danger is ignoring all this until you collapse. But you can change course earlier. Recovery starts with listening.
Turning inward, the sources suggest a gentle self-check. Just tired or deeper. Do I feel like me? What have I been ignoring? What needs care right now?
Listening isn't weakness, it's wisdom. That's what the material emphasizes.
Absolutely. It's the crucial first step.
Okay, so we get the definitions, the signs. Now, the bigger picture from the sources. Why is this so common? It's not just personal failure, is it?
No, that's a huge takeaway. It's presented as a cultural symptom. Our society glorifies hustle, busyness, resilience without rest.
Modern life is almost designed to burn us out. Quietly. Systematically.
It's often the system, the context, not just you. And the sources pinpointed several hidden triggers.
Like workload overload.
Yes, constantly available, expected to do too much, feeling unsupported or undervalued. The productivity bar just keeps rising.
We're conditioned to think more hours, saying yes equals success, but it just leads to burnout.
Then there's emotional labor. Managing feelings, yours, others. Especially in certain jobs or roles, it's exhausting, often unseen, and drains you if there's no replenishment or recognition. Carrying too much silently.
Toxic productivity came up too. That feeling your self-worth is just your output.
Yeah. Do more, be more. Guilt for resting. Feeling behind if you slow down. But you're not a machine, the sources say. Rest is essential. If your value is only production, burnout is inevitable.
And digital overwhelm. Constant pings, notifications, news.
Always on, fractured attention, overloaded nervous system, anxiety, FOMO. Our brains aren't built for it. Silence, stillness, that's the medicine the sources suggest.
Finally, cultural conditioning. Trying to be everything.
Yeah.
Successful and humble, productive and rested.
Perfect and effortless. These impossible contradictions, especially hard for women, caregivers, marginalized groups. Material noted.
You weren't meant to carry it all. That message was strong. Burnout happens when we're misaligned, doing too little of what lights us up, too much of what drains us.
Recognizing these triggers is like the first act of reclaiming yourself. You don't have to internalize it as your fault. Understanding the context lets you choose differently.
And burnout looks different depending on your role, right?
Yeah, the sources clarifies that. Work burnout might be detachment, lower productivity, physical tension.
Caregiver burnout, overwhelm, guilt, isolation, fatigue, giving from an empty cup.
Exactly. Parenting burnout, exhaustion, emotional disconnect, overwhelm, perfectionism, the exhaustion of endless giving.
Entrepreneurial, the hustle trap. Obsession, fear, can't switch off. Isolation, exhaustion masked by ambition.
And creative burnout.
Yeah.
Blocked, self-doubt, anxiety, withdrawing, inspiration runs dry.
Knowing how it shows up for you is key. And connection is vital, right? Burnout is isolating.
Definitely. Finding others who get it, building community. Crucial for healing, according to the material. It's not a secret shame.
Okay, so understanding it is one thing. Recovery. The sources were clear. It starts with awareness.
Can't heal what you won't name. Recovery starts with that pause, that breath, that moment of truth. Awareness is the turning point. Naming it is power.
Step one, self-reflection. Without judgment. That part's key. Burnout hits driven, caring people. You didn't fail, you hit limits.
Set aside time, even 10 minutes. Ask, what led me here? What am I carrying that isn't mine? What have I sacrificed? What life am I longing for? Journaling, quiet time. Just see it first. Don't fix it all at once.
Step two, gentle boundaries. Burnout loves boundaryless lives. Recovery means drawing lines, not walls, but bridges to well-being, as one source put it.
Start small. One boundary. Email off after 6. Say no to one draining thing. Protect quiet time. A sacred hour. Your allowed space. Boundaries are essential, not selfish. That came through loud and clear.
Step three, prioritize rest. Non-negotiable, the sources said. Rest is the foundation, not the reward for finishing, which never happens in burnout.
Yeah, recovery demands rest. Physical, mental, emotional, creative rest. It's how the nervous system resets, how the soul returns, how you begin again.
Start small here, too. Bed 15 minutes earlier. Walk without the phone. 5 minutes of quiet. Deep breaths.
Exactly. Rest isn't passive. It's radically productive for healing, the material suggests. It creates the conditions for everything else.
And permission to pause. You don't hustle out of burnout. Just pause. Remember who you are underneath it all. Recovery isn't linear.
Takes time, Grace. You're not behind, you're becoming. And that commitment, listen to my body, honor limits, stop abandoning myself, choose balance, create a life I don't need to escape.
That's a powerful foundation. From there, we build resilience.
Exactly. Building protection so you don't fall back. Resilience is a muscle, grows with practice, kindness, your blueprint for sustainable habits.
What's in that toolbox, according to the sources? Morning rituals.
Yeah, starting with intention. Gentle movement, breathing, gratitude, limit screens, set an intention. Consistency is key, even if it's small.
Energy management. Working smarter.
Protecting energy. Pomodoro, breaks. Tackling hard stuff when you have energy. Saying no. A shutdown ritual. Quality over quantity.
Nourishing body and mind. The basics.
Non-negotiable partners. Balanced meals, movement, sleep. Limit stimulants, mindfulness. Strong foundation.
The emotional self-care. Feeling the feelings.
Honoring them without judgment. Check-ins, boundaries, connection, creative expression, self-compassion. Feel deeply, recover gently.
Digital detox. Crucial now, right?
Protecting attention, peace. Tech-free times. Turn off notifications. Curate your feed. Use apps mindfully. Digital boundaries is modern self-respect.
And cultivating purpose and joy. Fuel for resilience.
Definitely. What lights you up? Schedule it in. Reconnect with your why. Celebrate small wins. Build that energy reserve. Building resilience is a journey. Start small. Add gently. Listen more. Care deeper. Don't push harder. Nurture it daily, not just in crisis.
And asking for help. Essential, not weak.
Healing is rarely solo. Asking for support is brave. Build a healing team.
When to talk to a professional. Persistent hopelessness, sleep eating issues, self-harm thoughts, can't function, physical symptoms.
Yeah, chest pain, chronic headaches. Seeking help is strength, self-respect. Don't wait until it's dire.
How to ask. Be honest, specific. I'm exhausted. Can we talk? Choose trusted people. Set boundaries on sharing if needed. Practice self-compassion. You deserve support.
Your healing team. Professionals, supportive friends, family, support groups, wellness folks. Doesn't have to be huge, just reliable, compassionate, overcoming barriers, fear, feeling like a burden is part of it. Your feelings are valid. You're not alone.
Stepping toward support is stepping toward reclaiming your life. And ultimately, it's not just about recovery, but designing a life beyond burnout.
A transformation, not just a fix. A life designed with intention, reflecting your values, nourishing your whole being.
Key elements. Reflecting on core values. What really matters? When do I feel aligned? What's been neglected?
Reclaiming passions. Old hobbies, new experiments. Create or play just for joy, no pressure.
Prioritizing long-term health. Daily investment in sleep, nutrition, movement, mindfulness, boundaries. Not leftovers.
Creating a life that fits you. Reshaping rhythms, simplifying, designing your environment, supportive people, clear intentions for time and energy.
And embracing imperfection. Grace. Learning from setbacks, celebrating wins. Growth happens in the messy middle.
The invitation here is powerful. See burnout not as an end, but a signal for a new beginning. Reclaiming your story. It's ongoing. Start small. Build a life fueled by what matters. Burnout signals you're beginning towards sustainability.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap this deep dive. Based on your sources, we unpacked stress, too full, versus burnout, too empty.
Looked at how it develops, the warning signs, physical, mental, emotional, behavioral, spiritual.
Explored those hidden triggers, workload, emotional labor, toxic productivity, digital overwhelm, cultural stuff, framing it as a cultural symptom, and how it shows up in different roles.
Then the path back. Awareness as step one, then boundaries, then prioritizing rest, foundational.
Building resilience through habits, rituals, energy management, nourishing body, mind, emotional care, digital detox, purpose joy, and seeking support.
And finally, that bigger goal, designing a life beyond burnout, aligned with values and passions.
The core message that kept coming up. Burnout doesn't mean you're broken. It means you've been strong too long without support, rest, or alignment.
It's a signal. Pause. Listen. Rebuild. You deserve replenishment, not just endless output. A life that honors your whole self.
And you're not alone. Healing happens in small steps. Be gentle with yourself.
So, given how modern life seems almost wired with these triggers pushing us toward burnout, here's the final thought from the implications of your material. How do we individually keep designing our lives, our rhythms, choices, environments to be resilient against these forces? Not just bouncing back, but building a sustained rhythm of thriving, living lit up from within.
It's not just about recovery, is it? It's about building a life you don't need to constantly escape from. A life lived fully, authentically, sustainably, powered by purpose and peace, not just pressure.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the material you shared.